Look at this man begging for money in Mississauga. Would you help this guy out? Before you do, let me show you why you should think twice about who you're giving your hard-earned money to. Why are you scamming people? While countless people are struggling to get by, scammers are cashing in as they deceive innocent Canadians. I was driving through Mississauga the other day when I saw a man begging for money at a highway exit. Across the street from where he was panhandling was a large bus terminal parking lot. I became suspicious and wondered if this was a scam and if he had parked his car there. At first glance, I thought it was the same man I had exposed for scamming people outside a church in Brampton. Why do you go to different places of worship to beg for money?
Yeah.
That's your car, isn't it?
No. This should be no car.
Where's your cane? Where's your cane? I thought it wasn't your car. You won't believe the nerve of this man. On Easter weekend, he went to a church to trick people into giving him money. He even threatened a woman at the church. You can watch the full report along with more investigations like this at exposedthescammers.com. If you value this kind of independent journalism, please consider supporting our work through that same website. The two men looked very similar, but this appeared to be a different person. He would wave at cars while they were stopped at the light, sometimes walking between the lanes of traffic. He even brought a chair in case, he needed to take a break. When he would check his phone, he hid it behind his sign so it wasn't visible to passing motorists. While panhandling, he used a cane to assist with his walking. After a while, I watched him pack up his belongings and begin walking toward the parking lot. How come you can walk fine now? I just saw you walking with the cane and now you're okay? Why are you scamming people? So do you just go to different areas begging for money, scamming people? You realize that the public's waking up, eh? You know people know what you guys are doing? What does your sign say? You gonna hit me with that? Where's your car? Just go to your car, man. Everyone knows. You don't have to hide. People know you're scamming. The jig is up. This scammer is hiding in the bushes right now. While he was attempting to hide his face in the bushes, he turned his cane around and held it in a way that made me think he was preparing to strike me if I moved any closer. Well, it's been almost an hour now. He's been hiding in the bushes. Sitting in my car right now, I can see him still in the exact same spot. He continued hiding in the bushes for hours. I was convinced he didn't want me to see him get into his car. When I moved my vehicle, he cautiously peeked his head out to see if I was still there. He spotted my car and he ducked back into the bushes. I moved my car again, this time farther away from where he was hiding. Eventually, he emerged from the bushes without his hat on, leaving his cane, sign, and chair behind. He started walking toward a nearby gas station while I slowly followed behind without him noticing. He bought a pack of cigarettes and changed out of his jacket. It seemed as though his plan was to make it appear that he had left the property and that his car wasn't parked at the bus terminal, in the hope that I would leave the area. With that in mind, I made my way back to the parking lot, anticipating that he would soon return to get his car. Shortly after I returned, I saw him walking back to the bushes to grab the items he had left behind. From there, he walked over to the parking lot, opened the trunk of his car, and placed his belongings inside. Just like that, he drove away. Although the car was a little beat up, it was still a Mercedes-Benz. He kept his face covered and tried to make sure I didn't see him getting into his car because he didn't want people to know the truth. He wasn't actually homeless. We've also exposed these two women who claim to be from Eastern Europe. they were also begging for money on the streets of Mississauga. At the end of the day, I watched a man pick them up in an alleyway. The very next morning, he dropped them off at the exact same location to do it all over again. You're running an operation. There's two of you working together. You got picked up in a van by a man. Why are you doing this? People are waking up to what's happening.
Stealing money out of people. The government gives you money.
I don't have my paper.
Oh, yeah, of course not. You never do. Good job, man.
Or consider this woman. She begs for money on the streets of Toronto despite living in a house with her family. Public records show she was arrested in the United States on panhandling and theft-related charges and was later arrested again in Canada. Why are you out begging for money when you live here?
Wait.
Why are you bringing your small child with you to beg for money when you live here? Are you gonna pay back the unpaid rent? How did you get into Canada? This raises obvious questions. If someone has multiple prior arrests in another country, how did they obtain entry to Canada and what screening was conducted? Many of the people involved in these cases come from Romania, but many identify as Roma, an ethnic group with historical origins in northern India that later migrated throughout Europe.
Romania.
Romania?
Yes.
Are you Roma?
Gypsy.
Yeah, Roma.
It's important to understand that Roma and Romanian are not the same. I'm not suggesting that every person of Romani descent is involved in criminal activity. However, we cannot ignore the fact that individuals and organized groups from the community have come to Canada and are reportedly committing fraud, theft, and other criminal offenses. I couldn't shake the feeling that this man looked remarkably similar to the scammer I exposed earlier this year. As I continued investigating, I found that the registered owners of both vehicles shared the last name Calderar. The surname has been associated with members of the Roma community. However, sharing a surname alone does not establish that these individuals are related, and I am unable to confirm any connection between them. While countless Canadians are genuinely struggling, people who falsely present themselves as homeless undermine public trust and take advantage of the generosity of others. Under Ontario's Safe Streets Act, it is illegal to solicit an occupant of a stopped, standing, or parked vehicle while on a roadway. I reached out to Peel Regional Police to ask how they enforce this law and what action they take against people who violate it. As of publication, I have received no response. We will do our best to continue investigating these cases and raising awareness about this nationwide issue. Thanks so much for watching the video.